Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tone's Market Analysis for Wednesday, September 6th. It's been a very exciting week. I think I'm now more hated by the libertarians than the Federal Reserve. We'll see how that ends. Maybe we'll talk more about that later during your Q&A. I do want to jump right into the markets. I want to try and get this video done in a... Lately, they've been an hour and a half. I keep trying to do it in an hour. Obviously, no time to update the website. It's going to become like crazy stale. I will be spending Saturday in Oslo. There's already like people are organizing a dinner. A lot of people are going to come out. And so that'll be fun. I'll spend one day in Oslo this Saturday. On Sunday, I'll be in Geneva. I believe Monday night I am speaking in Geneva. Is this the Geneva meetup? No. So Monday night is going to be the 11th. Okay. So on the 11th, I'm speaking in Geneva. On the 13th, I'm speaking in Zurich. And on the 14th, I'm speaking at a conference in Zurich. And then I'm off to Germany to Blockchain Hotel. And that one begins on the 16th of September. So that's kind of my schedule. Oh, man. And then I'm going to speak in Italy. And I may go to London. I'll keep you guys posted on that. I haven't had the time. I might actually speak in Munich, Germany as well. That's not on my calendar. So I don't know, just watch Twitter. I'll be tweeting out all the places I speak at. So after Essen, Germany, for Blockchain Hotel event, I'm pretty sure I'm speaking in Munich, and I might be speaking in another part of Germany before or after Munich, probably before. And then I'll definitely be speaking in Milan, Italy, before I get to Prague. And then maybe I'll go to London in between. I'm being invited to like all over the place. In Moscow, and I'm being invited to Ukraine. I don't know yet. Like I don't even know where I'm staying in Oslo yet, and that's this Saturday, right? So it's everything's a little hectic right now. And then definitely come out to California for BlockCon event, and probably in Santa Monica. You got to double check the website. And I'll definitely be speaking there, and I'll probably be teaching my full day trading seminar. So if you were interested in learning how to trade and you would like to learn how to trade from me, there'll be a separate one-day seminar. I'm not even sure how much it's going to be. It'll probably be less than 0.1 Bitcoin, which is my hourly rate, but then you get me for the whole day, but you'll be in a room with other people. It should be less than that. I got to check. I got to check with the organizers. All right. All right, let's just get right into the markets. Here's the S&P 500. Nothing's changing. Absolutely nothing. I am bullish the S&P 500. Now, remember, historically, September is a very bearish month. Very bearish month. Cyclically, September is bearish. October is neutral. A lot of big stock market crashes happen in September. Happen in October, but October is usually the bottoming month. Like the stock market usually goes down in September and it bottoms in October on average. So it may feel like October always has the big crashes and disasters, which they do, but October is also the month where the stock market bottoms. So I was actually going to go all in with my entire with my entire retirement portfolio into the S&P 500 yesterday. I believe I even put like a limit order. I put a limit order to literally put my entire retirement into the S&P 500. I was using the SPY ETF only because I'm lazy. The VOO is probably better. Maybe even the Russell IWM might be better. But anyway, I was just going to go lazy. I was going to go SPY. And I think I put in my limit order at like 245.50. So it was going to be right here. Like I was going to put in my limit order to put my entire retirement account into S&P 500. I had the limit order on there for a few hours. And then I kind of chickened out because I realized it's September. And September is just a cyclical month for potential downturn. and next month is earnings season. I was only going to put it into the S&P 500 for 1 month, only because I've been just too busy to do it earlier. And I was going to take it all out of the S&P 500 so I can trade it during earnings season. And with 1 month before earnings season and September being a little bit, iffy historically, I decided to just keep my retirement account in cash and then trade it for earnings season. But then in November, I will put my entire account into the S&P 500. I think that the S&P 500 will break out and will go to new all-time highs. Okay. I'm going to throw on the indicator to see if there's anything here. And we're on a green 6. So not how exactly you want to see it, but if we get to a 9, there could be some weakness, but I wouldn't exactly call this a giant bullish trend. So we'll see what happens. Okay. I'm going to zoom out. Oh, I should make these, bigger. Hold on. I'm going to make this full screen again. Boom. There you go. And let's move on. All right, here is the weekly S&P 500. Nothing really to see. It's, bounced off near the previous high, and now we're going higher. The momentum doesn't really scare me, and there's nothing really to see here. Did we get a price flip? We're getting a price flip now. So basically, I would stick another line in the sand right there. And the moment price is breaking above this line, I would once again be bullish the S&P 500. If this wasn't September, I would have probably put everything into it. And because next month I'm going to take it out anyway to trade it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? Above this line, I'm bullish. It's no different than this line, right? Then look what happened. And then when it breaks this line, it'll go higher, All right, let's move on. Let's save, zoom out. Man, I'm home right now. So much easier with multiple monitors. All right, let's move on. Gold. Gold continues to be my personal redheaded stepchild in that I can't make heads or tails. Gold has been a problem for me to predict, and I kind of stopped. I have not been able to properly call gold, so I'm not. That's the thing, right? It feels like gold is grossly overbought, no matter how you look at it. Like no matter where you look, it's just like, look, we are grossly overbought. The MACD is on a new multi-year high. I don't understand why, right? Now, I understand that there's like war drums beating again, but war drums are always beating. And the stock market seems to be doing okay. Haven't really kept an eye on the bond market lately. So this is the daily chart of gold. I would consider, being bullish gold, but I would need a pullback. And if gold goes straight up to 8,000, I'm never going to call buy gold. I'll just sell my gold coins when it gets there. Like I have gold coins, so I am gold invested. I just don't see how, as a trader, you were... at least in my trading, like every trader is different. There could be a trader that's laughing at me right now that was able to trade gold this entire way, but that's because he's trading differently. Like everyone has their own trading style. Based on my trading style, gold was completely untradeable for me anyway. Maybe if I trusted this indicator and only this indicator, I could have traded it. This 9 told me to sell, and then on this 2, it told me to go back in long. This 13 told me to be cautious, and now I'm on a 5 waiting for a 9. Like, I'd rather try and time this thing to a big crash than try to, run in and then get wrecked. So I'm going to keep trying to short it every time it gets a 9. And this one failed. and this one failed, and the next one might fail, or the next one might drop gold to 1,000, right? Like I don't know. I will. I'd rather try and time gold to the short side than trying to time gold to the long side, because zooming out, like for the last 6 years, ever since the top, right? Ever since 2011, all the money was made shorting gold. No money was made going long. Like all the money was made shorting gold. And I'm still not comfortable trying to make money from going long gold. I'd rather try to make money from shorting gold until I know the trend has reversed. And in my mind, I don't think the trend has reversed yet. I could be wrong, not always right, but like if this hits overbought, I don't know. I just don't like it. I want to see a pullback. I would try to keep timing the short till it works, or take small losses. That's what I would be doing if I was trading gold, but I have no time to trade, so it doesn't matter. All right, putting on the numerical indicator just to see if I'm missing something. Well, it's on a 7, and I would wait for 2 more weeks, right? So sometime in 2 weeks, somewhere around here, it'll be a double top. Like that's the thing, right? Every time it looks like it's a long, it's weak, and every time it looks like it's a short, it's giving you long signs. Like I'd wait for the double top. I'd try to short the double top. I would probably consider this double top to be temporary, and it is going to go higher, but it's first going to go lower. So I would wait 2 weeks. I would wait for a 9 weekly. I would try and time it with a 9 daily. So there might be another 9. And then I'll try to short it. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oil broke out. Not what I expected. Oil's having a good week. If oil can get back above the moving average, then this worked well for 4 months, and but no more, right? So it's breaking out. So oil might be a long here. Let's see how this week ends. This was going good for about a month, and then it stopped. So we'll see. All right, I'm not even gonna bother. Like the numerical indicator is useless here. I know that. The euro. Now the euro, I'm trying to time the short trade. Like here's the short trade, right? So this short trade that I've been talking about, this is the second attempt at the short trade, and right now this short trade is profitable. Let's see how long this short trade can stay profitable on the euro. I think the euro is going to kind of crash. So if we get a lower low, then you can adjust. This is the entry point. You can then adjust it to a break-even stop and stop your trade right at the height of this week's candle. But that was the short on the euro, so let's see where that goes. This is the weekly euro. One of the reasons that gave me comfort to short the euro was this weekly 9 that took place right at the 200-week moving average. It went a little bit higher. It gave me a reversal candle, and now I feel a lot more comfortable shorting the euro. Is it going to work? I have no idea. If it doesn't work, the loss is limited. If it works, the reward is gigantic. So we'll see. This is a weekly candles. Here are the daily candles. This is a more detailed look. Basically, when you know there is a 9 on the weekly chart, you want to zoom in daily, and you want to take a look and see if there was an entry point on the daily somewhere. Now, the daily gave you a 9 way earlier. Now, this was 726, and let's see what week this 9 was. That was 814, right? So the 9 on the daily came way earlier, so that wasn't really very useful. But this is a textbook of a reversal candle as they come. Therefore, this was the time to short the euro if you were trying to time it off of the weekly chart. So shorting the euro right here below this candle, if you missed it, you had a second entry, which is what I did right here on the second entry back to the bottom of the reversal candle. The stop loss is up to you. I have a stop loss at a round number of just under 1.2. It should really be just over 1.2. And the entry should be just under 1 point. Oh, wow. These are really tight coordinates. Entry price 9.5. Exit should actually be in the opposite direction. Oh, whoa. Oh, what is this? Right. So let's do this then. Something like that. Right. So my exit is slightly above 1.2. I want to give the round number a chance. You can also set your stop loss all the way up here if you're very, if you want to give them space to run. But the moment it makes a lower low, the stop needs to be lowered to a break-even stop so that this trade doesn't cost you money. So I'm still waiting for this trade to develop. All right, save that. Let's move on. All right, this is Bitcoin. So hey guys, thank you for your donations. Thank you for your support. I'm looking at 370 live viewers right now. Man, my numbers are down a lot. Interesting. But check me out every morning on the World Crypto Network, where I do a very short rundown of all of this. This is a slightly more detailed version of my morning show on the World Crypto Network. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for the private clients that are reaching out. I'm actually learning stuff from some of my clients. But yeah. All right, let me okay. So actually, hold on one second. All right, let's get back here. So all right, I need to have a standalone monthly chart because monthly charts are becoming important. On a monthly chart, I have a 7, okay? And guys, those of you that are more curious about this indicator, I don't have any videos detailing the indicator. If you are clever, you can Google this indicator and find out the real name. And there are infinite amount of information for you there. But this is kind of how I'm using it. And this is what the tone-based consulting service is about. Those of you that want to learn more, you can, understand it through consulting. Okay, here's the monthly. I'm on a 7. The month just started. The month started 5 days ago. So we still have all of September, all of October, and all of November. I am looking for a 9. I am looking for this, right? Like the current 7 candle is different than the last 7 candle, okay? The current 7 candle is looking more like this 8. But either way, I'm looking for strength. I'm looking for strength into October. I'm looking for strength into November. And then I'm expecting a much bigger pullback, probably because of the 2x crazies, okay? Let's go to the weekly. Now, the weekly has finally turned green. I turned bullish, guys. I turned bullish the moment, even the day before the China news came out, I turned bullish. And when the China news came out, I turned ultra bullish. Like I'm super bullish right now. I'm thinking 6,000 by end this month. This month, I'm looking at 6,000. Here are my targets. My first target is 5,300. My second target is, I really thought I adjusted these. What's the high here? I'm sorry, what's the close here? Yeah, 4,600. Didn't I adjust this? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're adjusted. Whoa, I just saw a donation come in. Thank you. We smoke Bitcoin. Wow. Thank you for that. I'll even read your comment. Bitcoin harvest has been good this year. More Bitcoins that I can smoke. Nice. So yeah, with multiple monitors, I can see the chat. But thank you, David. You're going to be helping me out with questions, I hope. So If you do have questions, David's going to compile them for me. Thank you, David. And he'll private message me your questions when I'm ready for Q&A. All right. So here are my targets. My low end target is 5,300, maybe even 5,350. What do I have? 5,350 is my low end target. My high end target is 6,100. Okay. These are my targets this month. Actually, next, like over the next few weeks, right? Over the next 3 weeks. So this month. So these are my targets this month. After that, I will probably be looking for a multi-week correction, maybe back to current levels, maybe even lower. I have no idea, right? I need to know where the top is. I don't know where the top is. When I know where the top is, I can start to judge how big the correction is going to be. I am not expecting a bear market. I'm expecting lots of turbulence because of the big blockers. I think the big blockers want Bitcoin to die. I really, really do. I think the big blockers are doing everything in their power to destroy Bitcoin. That's my opinion. You can disagree with that opinion, but that's my opinion. Charts prove that. Charts prove it. Every time the big blockers show up, the price crashes. And trust me, it's not because of me saying that the price is going to go down because of big blockers. Okay, that's what is actually happening. Okay, so the big blockers are going to start screaming come end of October, and they're going to crash the price. They're going to think it's a great thing. Okay, I don't know what they're thinking. I'm not in their head. Okay, starting to think there's way too many people that are mentally challenged in the crypto space. Okay. I probably should have, I mean, I knew this. I just haven't been saying it publicly very often. But the big blockers are going to show up in October and they're going to crash the price of Bitcoin. Okay. But until then, I still think we have 6,000 and higher to go this month. Okay. And that's what the weekly chart's telling me. Let's go to the daily. The daily is looking absolutely beautiful. I haven't had time to tweet at all. Like I don't know, I'm busy, I'm lazy, whatever you like to call it, doesn't matter, right? I called for upside right here of a 4,400. Right after I said that, China came out with amazingly good news that they've declared ICOs illegal. At least there's one government that's responsible, yeah, I'll argue it all day with libertarians. I don't care. So I can't believe I used to be a libertarian. I was an idiot. It's really bad what I see in the space. Really, really bad. I don't know what I am anymore. I don't give myself a label now. You can think I'm a statist, but I don't. And I'm definitely not a libertarian. Well, everyone in I mean, I've seen more scams in the libertarian community than I've ever seen on Wall Street. So I mean, don't give me this nonsense. So here's what I was looking at, right? I was looking for the price to bounce off of strong support, and then I said in a prior video that if the price falls to below 4,200. I would be looking at much lower prices. Now, the price fell below 4,200, but it fell on dumb people misinterpreting a good news event. So I immediately took this arrow off my charts, and I did that publicly on the World Crypto Network during the morning show. So this is why you can't just blindly. I mean, my advice is free. So, I mean, you get what you pay for, right? I mean, if you trade off of my free advice, you can't blame me for it. Free advice. But if you blindly trade off of, advice that's more than 24 hours old, that one is on you, because I immediately realized that when the price crashed to 4,000 on misunderstanding of the news event, I saw that as even a bigger bullish sign, and I went more bullish and deleted this arrow. So I am now back to being fully bullish. I'm looking for a huge rise and have it go up. Okay, just have it go up. So I'm looking for higher prices. All right, that's about it. So here is the wait, what am I missing here? Oh, I messed that up. Let's go. This should be a daily chart. Here is the long-term view of here is the long-term view. Oh yeah, hey David, if you are pulling up questions, if people are tipping with questions or comments, definitely put those in. So I see Audrey's comment. Uh, it says, I know you don't like talking about other people, but can you rant about Eric Voorhees' position? Maybe. I might rant about Eric Voorhees' position. Thank you for the tip, by the way. I'll see if I can rant a little bit on that. But all right, so here's the bird's eye view. Can we still fall back down to 3,000? Absolutely, we can. So that's always something to worry about. So be careful there. If I zoom in on the hourly Bitfinex, and the only reason why I am doing that is just to show you that this indicator will give you different counts based on different exchanges. And it had a very perfect sell indication here on a 9 and a 13 on the same day, while on Bitstamp, the 9 came a day earlier and the 13 is coming like a week later, right? So, I mean, these things aren't always perfectly timed. And the price is flipping. Everything is just turning bullish. It's all turning bullish. Now, when it came time to shorting this event, right? I saw the 9 on the daily, and then I zoomed into a higher time frame. This is the 4-hour chart, and within 24 hours or even within 12 hours of the daily 9 telling me to be careful and potentially short, there was also a 9 on the 4-hour chart. It was within a day. So my 4-hour told me to sell, my daily told me to sell, and right now, if I look at the 4-hour, there was a 9 telling me to buy, and ever since then I'm holding. Now there could be a 9 on the 4-hour coming up, and it might be a little bit of a caution sign, but the current daily is strong, so I wouldn't put too much selling pressure on the daily on the 4-hour 9, because the daily 9 is going strong. But so there was a daily 9 right here, there was a 4-hour 9 right here, and there was also, this is the hourly chart. If I turn on the indicator, oh man, that was all the way back here, right? There was an hourly 9 perfectly at the top, telling you to be cautious. So when this hourly lined up with the 4-hour and it lined up with the week with the daily, I was I was fairly certain that prices were going to pull back, but I was also fairly certain that prices were going to pull back short term and not long term, because the weekly was only on a 7 and we got a 9. I thought this would be a good buy point. Then the China news comes out. I had a 13, which was another buy point, and then buying it off of here would have been great. And then you are, you're doing well right now, and it looks like it's going up. So, I know people ask me for the links to these. Let me do this. So here are the links, right? So those of you that are watching, like if you write this down, maybe I'll put them in a description. I don't know. So this is a way for you to look at my hourly chart, and this is a way for you to look at my 4-hour chart. I know people have been asking for the link to the 4-hour chart. So there it is. Just tradingview.com/chart, and that's my chart. And here is the link to the Bitfinex, and here is the link to the Bitstamp 1 day, and then here is the 1 week, and I got to get a 1 month standalone. Okay, so there you go. All right, let's go to, okay, now that I'm here, Let me save and close some of these. It's the euro stuff. Just to free up a little space, here's oil. Here's gold. All right, that's enough. Let's go back to full screen. Okay, so what do I have next? I tried to pull up a bunch of charts, but I was also running late, so I don't know. What are we gonna look at next? Litecoin weekly. Okay, okay, it looks okay. I mean, you have got a horizontal channel. If you can break out to the upside, I mean, it'll be bullish. If I put on the numerical indicator, you're not on a buy yet. So you need this to be higher than this, and then you get a potential buy. But last time this got you into a little bit of trouble, right? So we'll see. There was a nice sell right there. Right. That's about it. This looks promising. You got a little cup, and you got working on a handle. You got a big cup. You're working on a handle. Same thing. If it went below this line, it would be trouble. The daily Litecoin is looking good. You had a 9 sell right there. Remember, the most likely outcome of a 9 sell is 1 to 4 candle pullback and then higher. So if this is the higher, then the 9 has just kicked off a new uptrend. So yeah, potentially tomorrow, if you're breaking this, there could be a bullish trade there, but you're gonna be overextended. Like, I don't know. I'm still hesitant. I'm still hesitant on Litecoin. Looks better now. I mean, if you timed this bottom, then you did great. If you traded into this 9, those of you that are trading this, enough people have hired me as a consultant for them to get this code and running it themselves. If you bought it right here on the 2, you did well. I mean, if you bought it right here on the 3, you did okay. You would have probably exited somewhere, maybe, and then you could have bought back in on the 2. If you shorted right here on the 2, you did well. So I mean, this indicator would have made you good money trading, like, for over the last month or so. It would have pretty good, damn good. I guess I'll leave it for you. All right, next. Monero. So Monero is pulling back to the triangle, which is good. In fact, you can have another week of weakness and still give you a green 4, but then the following week you better break out or your account's gonna break. So I was looking for weakness back to the base of the triangle, and that's looking fairly clean. This is what you want if you're a Monero bull. Let's move on. Here's the Monero daily. Guys, I still don't have a Monero address. I've just been busy. Like, I haven't had time. I haven't had time to look at it. Oh, wow. Look at that. I didn't even know. Holy shit. You had a 9 telling you that you're... Oh, wow. Look at this. This is a perfect 9, green arrow buy, perfect 9, red arrow sell. Now, you're looking for a few days of weakness and then higher, but when few days of weakness turns into full weakness, you stay with the bearish trend. And now you're about to get like a red 9, and hopefully you get this rolling thing, which traders love. A buy, a sell, and then a buy, and then up there a sell, so, and you're at support. So let's see what happens. So I was talking to one of my clients earlier today, and you know who you are. And he suggested a good reason for looking at a lot of these altcoins in US dollars, and it actually made sense. And what he said was because I hate looking at these things in dollars because no one really trades them in dollars. But big round numbers seem to be very important. And you can see that here. Right? So even though most trading happens versus Bitcoin, when you get these round numbers, they seem to be fairly useful. And in specifically, like, it struggled around the 50. I know it was a little bit higher, more like 53, 55, but in general, the 50 was major resistance. And then the 100, like if you zoom in, right? Like look how many times it hit exactly 100 and pulled back, and then on the way down and hit 100 and bounced up. And then this line is 150. So even though the price versus Bitcoin is important, these significant round numbers seem to be pretty damn relevant when it comes to these altcoins. Let me just glance at the indicator. Wow, there's your 9 again, telling you to potentially sell. And here's a 9 telling you to potentially buy. And then here's a 9 telling you to potentially sell. And the most likely outcome happened, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, a maximum of 4 day reversal. And then you got a reversal candle, a perfect doji, and then it was up and up and up we went. So I haven't been looking. This is versus the dollar. So just out of curiosity, I'll switch to the 1 weekly just to see if there was a better triangle on the weekly. Here's the weekly. Wow, interesting. I mean, like these 9s just jump out at me, but that's because I've been looking at them for a long time. And I have a 9 right here telling me to be cautious and look for weakness. And then I have a, should probably slide this down to here. That makes way more sense. And that's probably around $15 or so. And this one could probably move up a little bit. It just makes more sense again. Yeah, it looks like about $25, right? Right. So these values in dollar terms seem to be very useful when they're round numbers. Yeah, when they're round numbers, they seem to be pretty damn useful. And I really like the fact that there was a warning sign here, there was a warning sign here, and now we're on a 6, so maybe a warning sign in a few weeks. Maybe it'll reach 200. I have no idea. All right. That's about it. I know people are probably going to want to see, the chart IDs. So here is my Monero dollar chart. So pause the video later and get that. Here is the Monero, I don't know, daily versus Bitcoin. Here is the, what is this? Monero weekly versus Bitcoin. There it is. Pause the video. Here's Litecoin. And here's Litecoin again. Okay. All right. I think I'm done. I can't believe I'm going to ETH news, but hey, if you do good reporting, you do good reporting, okay? Here's a list of 60 ICOs in China. Please, someone, anyone, send me a reason why at least one of them is not a scam. Good luck, okay? Good luck. Okay, now I think Ethereum is a scam. What the hell do you think? What do you think I think about this garbage? Okay. Yeah, no, it's very frustrating. I already see a bunch of questions. We're up to 500 live viewers now. Excellent. All right. So can someone, if someone in the chat, can someone confirm if Eric Voorhees has been involved in Salt? I don't know what Salt is. I jumped on a video with Ozzy. He calls himself Ozzy the BS filter. Let me see. I don't want to like dox myself with what I watch on YouTube, so let me not do that. But Ozzy the BS filter. So, and he told me what Salt was. I had no clue what the ICO salt was. He didn't even have to finish his first sentence. It is such an obvious scam. It's ridiculous. Okay. Salt is a scam. It's an absolute scam. Okay. Now, if Eric Voorhees, like Ozzy said that Eric Voorhees is somehow involved, I have not had time to fact check it. I don't care. I will say it this way. If Eric Voorhees is involved in salt in any way, shape, or form, including trading it, then Eric Voorhees is a scammer. He's a scammer. He's a scammer pretending to be a libertarian. He's just a scammer. I don't care if he doesn't like me. I don't care if he got everyone onto Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. Salt is an obvious scam. So if you are supporting it, you are a scammer. It's as simple as that. Okay. Salt is a way more obvious scam than Ethereum is. But again, Salt is just an obvious scam. But that, at least from what I learned about it, go watch Ozzy's video where I was on and he explained it to me. All right. If anyone was like pushing Salt, SALT, if anyone was pushing it, if anyone was promoting it, then they're scammers. Okay. BitConnect, same thing. I just learned earlier today what BitConnect is. Same thing. It's a straight up scam. So if you were supporting it, then you're probably a scammer too. Okay, it's that simple. It's that simple. I understand there's money to be made there, and that's fine. You can make money, but there's lots of scammers make money. Okay, it really is that simple. So there you go. There's my rant on Eric Voorhees. All right, let's get to your question. Someone's asking if I can send a link to my monthly chart. There is no link to my monthly chart. That's the thing. I don't have a standalone monthly chart, so I can't send a link to it. I have a weekly chart, and then I flip my time period. Okay, I'll try to put together a standalone monthly chart. Okay. All right. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. Bitcoin mempool looks great. Looks perfect. 3,000 transactions, not 40,000 like we had, a month ago. Only 2.5 megabytes in the mempool. Everything is fine. You can send your cheap transactions as we wait for Lightning. Segregated witness transactions, here they come. Sooner or later, all of our coins will be segued. All right, I'm gonna cut the camera. Let's get to your questions. How am I doing on time? I'm at it's 2:20 p.m. New York time. I got like 30 minutes for questions. Let's see what we can get to. When is the next correction coming? Probably in a couple of weeks. I'll potentially be looking for a correction in a couple of weeks. Okay. Oh, thank you for your donation, Martin. Let's see what you wrote. Round of drinks for you, Thomas, Jimmy, on your trip over here for all your great work. Thank you. But we're all not going to be at the same place. Thomas and Jimmy are going to be at France at the Breaking Bitcoin event. I am not going to that event. I'm spending one night in Oslo, and then I'm heading straight to Geneva, and I'll be in Geneva on the 10th for the 11th, and then I'm speaking 3 times in Switzerland. And after Switzerland, I'm going to Germany, where I'm going to meet Thomas in Germany. So Thomas and Jimmy will be in France, and me and Thomas will be in Germany. And then later, me and Thomas will be, or Thomas and I, let me use proper English. Thomas and I will be in Prague in early October. And in between Germany and Prague, I plan to be in Italy and maybe the UK. And I'm not sure where Thomas is going to be. We haven't figured that out yet. Okay. Let's move on. What do you think of BC Securities Commission? BC? I'm confused with that question. Okay, let me read this again. What do you think of B.C. Securities Commission granting a landmark Bitcoin investment fund manager registration? I don't know. The first time I'm hearing about it. Look, hedge funds can trade whatever the hell they like. Okay. Hedge funds can trade in, I don't know, lion semen if they like, if they think it's going to make them money. It's completely like they have no regulation on what hedge funds can invest in. There's regulation to make sure that they're not scamming, but there's no regulation on what they can invest in, right? Like a lot of people are mad at hedge funds because a lot of hedge funds are now investing in clean water. So they think that hedge funds are going to monopolize like clean water and then, deprive people of clean water. Some hedge funds are investing in patents and become patent trolls, right? Like as long as it's something that's legal to invest in, right? Like I'm sure if a hedge fund invests in something like illicit, like I don't want to name illicit things, right? But let's say if a US hedge fund starts investing in, I don't know, ivory, right? Like killing elephants for the tusks and making like ivory statues, right? Like if a hedge fund starts investing in that, they'll probably end up in legal trouble because that's an illegal asset. Like ivory is an illegal asset, right? But as long as it's illegal, as long as the instrument is not illegal, a hedge fund can invest in it. Now, an investment fund is not really a hedge fund yet. I mean, there are all these little nuances, right? And a lot of these reporters don't know what it is. So it's hard to say what that means. It could mean nothing or it could be significant. Like if the investment fund is some kind of a pension fund, like let's say it's the investment manager is managing CalPERS, right? Like the California state workers' pensions. And that investment manager that's investing government pension money got registration and approval from a securities commission that he can now trade Bitcoin. That is very significant. That is serious, and I don't think that happened, right? But if you're a hedge fund, you don't even need permission. As long as Bitcoin is not illegal, you can go and trade it. Okay. That's pretty much it. So as it stands, I would need a lot more information before properly commenting if it means anything or it means nothing. Okay, next. Why don't you compare LTC to USD, always against BTC? Last time LTC didn't break more through because if you are into crypto and you're investing in Litecoin, it's an opportunity cost if you don't invest it in Bitcoin because you are familiar with Bitcoin, right? So you understand Bitcoin. So if you're investing in Litecoin, it doesn't matter how much it goes up against the US dollar. What if you're not even a US person, right? Like, does it really matter what it does against the dollar? It really matters what it does against Bitcoin because that is your opportunity cost, okay? You should be holding your money in Bitcoin, just like you should be holding your money in the S&P 500. If you are a trader that is a stock trader, you need to be comparing to the S&P 500 because if you're going to spend all day sitting in front of the market and you can't beat the S&P 500, then what the hell are you doing? Okay. I mean, look at what Donald Trump has done in 30 years with real estate. If Donald Trump would have put all of his money in Bitcoin and did nothing but drink and smoke for 30 years, he would have more money today. He wouldn't be famous, but he'd have more money, right? So the point is, if you're going to spend all day, every day looking at your Litecoin position, but at the end of the year, holding Bitcoin would have made you more money, then you could have done so much more with your life by leaving your money in Bitcoin. And that's why I compare this stuff against Bitcoin. Oh, and thank you, Henry Lowe from Hong Kong. Thank you for your donation in the super chat. All right, so let's move on. Okay, I already talked about Eric. Next. Could anyone tell me if buying in India is a good idea considering the price is already 5,100 USD on Indian exchanges and has been... Look, if the price consistently stays to 10 to 20% above market, then that's the market, right? If you're ever outside of India, then you want to buy as much Bitcoin as you can and then come to India and you all of a sudden have a 10 to 20% premium. Some countries have a premium. Will this premium last? I have no idea. Usually when the prices crash, the premium goes away. When the prices start to go up, the premium goes up. Because when there's a shortage of Bitcoin in your region or in your pool, the price goes up when the prices go up. This is why the GBTC nonsense, it always sometimes trades at 100% premium, because there are very few Bitcoin in the GBTC fund that you can buy as a pink sheet through your broker. There's very few Bitcoin there. So when the price of Bitcoin goes up, people want to buy GBTC and they shoot the price through the roof because the liquidity is not there. But when the price starts to crash, that premium goes away. Now that premium never actually goes below par. Like the premium on GBTC, it's almost impossible for that premium to go below the price of Bitcoin. It's a floor, unless there is a fear that the government is going to show up and confiscate the Bitcoin that Barry Silbert is holding, okay? Which can happen, but probably very unlikely. So there's no reason for GBTC to trade below the value of one Bitcoin. But because he has very few Bitcoin to sell you, people start bidding it up, and it goes to unreasonable highs before people realize how dumb they are, and then it goes back down. That's kind of how it works. India is the same way. Like a lot of these local markets are the same way. In Venezuela, it's probably like 30 or 40% higher. All right, next. Why was Core afraid of a block size increase? Because Blockstream is paying them. That is a very dumb, ignorant comment. The reason why everyone should be afraid of a block size increase is because it will create multiple Bitcoins. I don't know how many times I have to say this to people. Blockstream and Core do not control Bitcoin. The person you have to convince is me and people like me. And we're not going to bigger blocks. So if Blockstream says we're going to a bigger block, there will be 2 Bitcoin. There will be 2 Bitcoin. We don't have 2 Bitcoin right now. Btrash is done. They're garbage, okay? But if Blockstream and Core actually wanted to do bigger blocks, we can actually have 2 Bitcoin, just like there are 2 Ethereum right now, okay? Though both Ethereums are really dumb. It's a bad example. Blockstream isn't paying anyone. Blockstream is paying like 3 developers. That's it. Next. 3 out of 100. Next. Who do you think would, what do you think would be the mass adoption price point for Bitcoin? I don't know, 50, 60,000 a coin. Seems reasonable. Probably 100,000 plus. We'll have to go to bits first, right? So we'd have to change notations. So when Bitcoin is above $10,000 a coin, which might be soon, but then I think we'll have a correction because there isn't no mass adoption anytime soon. So when Bitcoin is fully stabilized above $10,000 a coin, one bit becomes more expensive than 1 penny, right? When the value of 1 bit is a penny or higher, I would be happy if people started, denominating Bitcoin in bits. And then you can go and say, I want to buy, 100 bits, and it's going to cost you $1. Or maybe one day, 1 bit will be $1. So when 1 bit is $1, the price of Bitcoin is $1 million. So when Bitcoin is 1 million, the price of 1 bit will be $1. That's kind of where you want to be. You want to be at a point where 1 bit equals $1, and then 1 Bitcoin is worth $1 million. But we have a big problem today, right? I think that the people that have a lot of Bitcoin are very, very bad for the space, right? And it would be unfortunate if the value of a Bitcoin went that high, because then Bitcoin would probably be destroyed because you're going to have some really bad actors with a lot of Bitcoin. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. And if Bitcoin did go up too high too fast, and I got the feel that a lot of bad actors are sitting on a lot of Bitcoin, and now they have way too much money to start to create their own governments and start making their own rules and start, monopolizing everything in Bitcoin, I would no longer be interested in Bitcoin, because I would feel that it has failed as a decentralized mechanism, and I would just put my money back in the stock market. All right. Well, let's see where we go from here. This is a much longer discussion, by the way. I don't like to speculate on Bitcoin being above 10,000, but yeah, a lot of things do cross my mind. All right, next. I don't like naming names, guys, but I'll read the question and then see if I want to answer it. Andreas Antonopoulos says that price volatility will take care of itself and uses the big ship is hard to move analogy to explain it. Do you agree? Yeah, I agree. Look, if one Bitcoin is over $100,000, the fluctuations in the price of Bitcoin are totally irrelevant when you're buying that cup of coffee with Bitcoin. Not that you'll ever have to buy that cup of coffee with Bitcoin, but when the price of one Bitcoin is like $20,000, $30,000, it really it's completely irrelevant when you're buying small transactions. So, yeah, I agree with that. If enough people buy the tone vase indicator, it becomes useless. Maybe. I have no idea. That's not for me to judge, right? And it's not my indicator. Wall Street uses this indicator for every stock known to man. Just because you guys haven't heard of it until I showed up is not really my fault, right? It's actually working really well in crypto because crypto is like a virgin asset for that indicator. But when it's no longer a virgin asset for that indicator, we'll see how good it works. Or maybe it'll create self-fulfilling prophecies. I have no idea. It's a fun experiment. This is why I talk more than I trade. Why is Ethereum a scam? You have about 5 hours to listen. You probably don't, and you probably don't care. You can start by Googling Crypto Scam Episode 8, Ethereum. I have not had time to do more episodes, but Ethereum was an ICO, and all ICOs are almost... I have this one exception that's bothering me. There's one exception of an ICO that's borderline legit, but the fact that it was built on Ethereum is a problem for me. It's way more like there's like one ICO that's way more legit than Ethereum is, but it's built on Ethereum, so judge for yourself. Someone's asking me if they should still hold their Bitcoins because they've had them since 2011. I'm not selling my Bitcoin till I make money on them. I will take those Bitcoins to my grave, and I will continue to call out gold bugs for losing me money for what feels like forever, right? Like I will be taking those gold coins to my grave, but when gold actually starts making me money of all the gold coins and the silver coins that I bought, I didn't buy them in 2011. Man, I'd be pissed if I did that. I think I bought mine in like 2012, 2013, when it already has fallen, when it fell like 50% from the high. But still, like I wish I knew then what I know now about like all this gold nonsense. But Bitcoin helped me understand gold a lot. Also, Martin Armstrong helped me understand gold a lot, which I started reading him earlier. I started reading Martin Armstrong around 2012 or so. Strongly recommend his blog. All right, next question. What ICOs do you like? I don't like any ICOs. I hate them all. I hate them all. I think every ICO is a scam. There are some ICOs that are maybe not scams, but they're terrible investments. And the only ICO that is borderline legit is the BCAP token from Brock Pierce. But I think it's a terrible investment because it's overpriced by like 100%. So, but at least it's legit. It's totally overvalued, but it's legit. It has a floor value. You shouldn't buy it more than a minor premium above the floor value. So it'll never be at fair market price. It'll always be unreasonably high, which is kind of dumb. All right, next. I don't have a SegWit address yet. Like my on the go wallet Airbits haven't really haven't given me any SegWit addresses yet, and I haven't opened my Trezor since I moved all my coins into it after the hard fork. So I haven't like gotten to any SegWit addresses yet. Someone is saying he's a board director of Salt. Who? Eric Voorhees is a board director of Salt? Then he's a scammer. Straight up scammer. No I will never have respect for Eric Voorhees as long as I live. He's a scammer. Could I explain why it's possible to mine empty blocks, and do I have a solution? Do we have a solution? So empty blocks have been explained many times in many shows. Basically, here's what happens, right? When a miner mines a block, they inform the world that they mined the block. Now, the world needs to check that the miner actually found the block. Like they actually didn't cheat, right? The world has to validate the fact that a miner has found a block. Now, you instantly know that the miner has found a block, but it takes time to verify what that miner did. Might take 5 seconds, might take 10 seconds, might take 20 seconds, but it takes a little bit of time. I think the average amount of time it takes for the world to validate a block is about 15 to 20 seconds. Now, some miners are ethical. Miners like Bitfury have publicly said they will validate other people's blocks before they start mining and looking for the next block. Other miners are not ethical, and other miners say, hey, here's some unknown miner that mined a block. We trust them. We're going to immediately start mining on top of the block that they mined without validating what they've done. And if we find a block immediately after they found the block, we are not capable of putting any transactions in that block because we don't know if we just got scammed or not by the previous miner. So you mine an empty block. Once that block gets confirmed, you get to keep your reward because you mined a valid block on top of a valid block, but you could not put any transactions into it. Okay, so and this is what happens. So to me, miners that are mining empty blocks, it's not, there's nothing criminal about it. The math allows them to do so. I just find them to be unethical and a disgrace to the Bitcoin community. It's just my opinion, okay? And that's how you get empty blocks. You can also get empty blocks when a miner like Bitcoin, like a pool like Bitcoin.com and sometimes Ant Pool, when the block before them has been fully validated, but they choose not to put any transactions in them. See, the problem is miners have too much power. They can choose what transactions go into a block. So they can choose not to put any transactions in a block, and you have an empty block. So those are your two reasons for why we have empty blocks. Is there a solution? There might be solutions, but the miners have a lot of power. How do you convince the miners that they need to give up this practice that's making them money? It's the same problem Vitalik Buterin has. How does Vitalik Buterin show up at all of the Ethereum miners and say, hey guys, I know you're mining blocks every 12 seconds. I know one Ethereum is worth $400. And every 12 seconds, you make all this shit ton of money. Can you please just stop mining? We want you to go away. We want you not to make any more money. And all the money is going to come to us, the early adopters, the proof of stakers. We deserve all of this money. We don't need you miners no more. Okay? If you own Ethereum, you deserve free Ethereum for life. No more work. You don't need work. You don't need to work. I'm an early adopter, so I deserve more Ethereum to be mined directly to me because I own Ethereum. So Vitalik is going to show up at these miners and he's going to tell them this, okay? Thinking that this is possible is one of the dumbest things in the world. And I can't believe people think Vitalik is actually smart. All right, next. Do I like any other coins? I don't like it. I think all other coins are almost useless. What does it mean to like something? I can tell you what coin, like I said, BCAP is the only legit ICO. Is it a good investment? Of course not. Is it overpriced? Absolutely. Is it useful? Probably not. Not for you. So when it comes to altcoins, Monero and Litecoin are okay. And that's about it. I mean, they're good test nets. I don't think they have a long-term future. That's it. Like I have Litecoin only from your donations. When I get around to getting a Monero address, I'll accept, Monero donations. I'll probably hold on to them, just out of respect for the people that are donating me in those coins. But I'm not going to get a donation address for a scam coin. Zcash is a scam coin. Dash is a scam coin. Steemit is a scam coin. I don't know much about Decred, so I'm not sure what I don't know if which one it is yet. Decred might fall into the Litecoin / Monero bucket, or it might fall into the Dash bucket. It's probably gonna fall into the Litecoin Monero bucket. But how many of those tokens do we need? We need one, maybe two, as test nets. Litecoin is a Bitcoin style test net. Monero is an anonymity style test net. I mean, I don't know how many more test nets you need, and each test net becomes less and less useful, right? So if Decred falls into that bucket, then okay, so it's another test net that's not as good as the other two. I mean, I don't know what you guys want me to say. People think that I only like Bitcoin and that's why everything else is a scam. No, everything is a scam. That's why I only like Bitcoin. It's the other way around, guys. Is it possible for any government body to consider Bitcoin illegal? They can consider it illegal. The question is, can they technologically do something about Bitcoin? And the answer is they can't. Can they technologically do something about Ethereum? Probably. Just go and, grab Vitalik and there goes your Ethereum, All these ICOs, they're centralized. They're totally centralized. Totally centralized. Just show up there and fine or arrest the guy created the ICO, and your ICO is done. They're totally centralized. Guys, if I thought that the government can show up at the Blockstream office and arrest the core developers, and that would be the end of Bitcoin, I would not have all my money in Bitcoin. The reason why my money is in Bitcoin is because the top 3 or 4 Bitcoin core developers can get in legal trouble and Bitcoin will still be okay. That's not true for anything else in the space. Maybe Litecoin, maybe Monero. That's about it. Amanda Johnson, here, Zcash will pay Amanda Johnson more money and then she'll talk shit about Dash and she'll start praising Zcash. Like, these things are so gameable. All right, let's see where we are next. Do you think the price will go under 4,000 again this year with the next hard fork drama? It's possible. I can't predict that yet, but it's very possible. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see where the next top is. Let me see where the price is now. Are we going up or are we pulling back? We're pulling back a little bit. We're back. Oh no, we're still back about 4,600. We're doing okay. All right. I got another donation. Thank you, Audrius. I'll read your comment and or question. Let's see what we got here. What do you think about this? I don't know what Sequoia is. Sequoia, that's the fund. What do you think about Sequoia's $50 million investment into Bitmain? Wouldn't it be good to have Bitmain's IPO? Other chip makers would see how much money they make. Bitmain might become better. Yeah, it would be nice to see Bitmain be publicly responsible with a board of directors and publicly traded and regulated. The reason why your company goes IPO, it becomes regulated in a different way. Okay? You have a board of directors. You have accountability to your investors. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Sequoia is looking for return on their money. Honestly, I haven't seen any new advancements in miners in a while, so I'm not sure how much more money Bitmain is going to make when traditional chip manufacturers show up. Bitmain might be done. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see if Sequoia's $50 million investment, amounts to anything. Is it possible? Okay, I already read that question. No, I haven't moved my coins to a SegWit address yet. I think I explained why. I will. I'll get there. Any comments on today's pump on B Trash? No, I haven't seen it. I'm not even looking. I'm done with that. I'm done with that all. I'm done with that shitcoin. I'm done with it. I don't want to mention it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm tired of giving it the stage. Yeah, no, Satoshi holding all those coins is a problem. I'm under the assumption that Satoshi is no longer alive. But the fake Satoshi Craig Wright might have the real Satoshi's private key, and he's been trying to crack it. And if he cracks it, we have a problem. Again, that's just my tone vase. That's the tone vase conspiracy theory of the year. There you go. Is the indicator in TradingView? No, it's I have not published the indicator. This is what people pay the consulting service for. There are similar indicators to mine. If you look around, you can get one that's almost as good. It'll probably do the trick for you. Next. Will I be speaking anywhere in the U.S. Southeast? Probably not. Not really. I'm usually at the Miami event. I probably won't be this year, but I don't speak there. There's really nothing going on in the Southeast. There's no more South Carolina conference. A lot of conferences don't want me speaking there because they are sponsored by scammers. So it's a lot harder for me to get speaking gigs now, and that's okay. I think I do more good by staying home and making consistent videos. Most conferences don't want me speaking. They're full of scammers. I would love to speak at Scaling Bitcoin, but I don't think my presentations are technical enough. I keep trying. I keep submitting a speaking proposal to the Scaling Bitcoin events, and but let's see. Maybe one of these days they'll give me the stage. I was gonna. So if I ever speak at a Scaling Bitcoin event or like Breaking Bitcoin, like a technical event for Bitcoin core developers, I would talk about the economic and price effects of Bitcoin. And how it reacts to scaling and Bitcoin code, right? So basically, I would talk about the psychology and the price movements as they relate to decisions when it comes to Bitcoin scaling. So that is the presentation I would like to do at a Bitcoin scaling event. Maybe one day I will pass the committee. I would somehow sneak through the committee and they would approve a presentation on price and economics in regards to Bitcoin scaling. All right, next. Have you recouped cost on your mining yet? I don't think I'll ever recoup my cost, but it's not the miner's fault. So here's why I'll probably never recoup my cost. I'm mining it at the trailer. It took me a month. There was a slight shipping delay because it was being shipped with a power supply and customs didn't like that. So I had a minor shipping delay, so I got the miner a little late. Every minute that, like mining 3 months ago was way more profitable than mining today, okay? So there was a slight delay in me getting the miner in. It took me a month to set up the goddamn thing because I'm just busy and I was setting it up at my cabin. The reason I'm setting it up at the cabin is because at the cabin I have free electricity. But that free electricity is limited on ampage. So and I'm only there on the weekends. My family is there during the summer. So during the day when we want to run other electrical equipment, it was too much to run the miner and let's say the microwave, miner and an air conditioner. So you have to choose one or the other. So my miner was only running at night. My family would turn it on at night. They would turn it off during the day. So right there, so I was a month and a half late on setting up my miner. And after it got set up, it only runs half the day, not the full day. And as much as I wanted to leave it on for these 2 weeks, because I'm about to go traveling and my family left the cabin because, kids started school and stuff. And, but now there's nobody there. And I wanted to leave it, but people were afraid I was going to burn down the cabin. So right now it's actually turned off. And in 2 weeks, when people get back to the cabin, they'll turn it back on for me. Like, I haven't, anyway, it's a long story. But yeah, so because my miner isn't running 24/7, I may never recoup the money, even with free electricity. But if I turned on that miner the moment I got it, and if it would have stayed on 24/7, I probably would have recouped all that money by now. And I have no intention of selling the Bitcoin, so it would have, made 10 times profit for me, that one miner. So it's a complicated answer, but I have no other way of answering it. If you use the miner correctly and you have some form of an advantage, like I did with free electricity, it's very profitable. If you run it 24/7 from the day you get it. Right, next. Do you think dollar cost averaging is the best tactic compared to trying to time the market if you have little experience, knowledge, and trading? Yes, absolutely. Dollar cost average, unless you're an experienced trader. Guys, trading is a cutthroat business. Professionals will eat your money. All right, next. Email me if you wanna know my consulting rates and stuff like that, please. My email is in the description of my video, tone@protonmail.ch, and I'll reply there. I don't want to talk about my consulting rate is 0.1 Bitcoin per hour, but I don't like talking about anything beyond that specifically on camera. Next. ICOs are centralized, but can you think of them like you think about the stocks in the stock market? Stocks in the stock market are regulated. ICOs are not regulated. This is why ICOs are scams. They're scams. If they can do this in a regulated way, they'd be IPOs. They're not like the stock market, guys. How do you store your keys? Do you hold your keys in a Trezor or a ledger? As much as I really want to do a video on helping people with their Bitcoin security, I have a bit of a personal conflict. If I disclose a lot of information on Bitcoin security, I open myself up for everyone knowing my Bitcoin security. So I don't know if I want to do that. There is no one size fits all, and my security is great as long as no one knows that method, right? Like my Bitcoin security is great, but if the world knows my Bitcoin security method, it's not all that great anymore, right? Like for example, burying a little box. Now, this is not my method. I'm just saying, right? Burying a little box with your private key in your backyard, a plastic box with a private key so that a metal detector can't pick it up. Burying a little box in your backyard with a private key is a pretty damn good security method. But if you tell the world on camera that your security method is a buried plastic box with a private key in your backyard, it's no longer a very good security method, right? So you see my point. So I do use a Trezor, but it is not my favorite method for security, okay? That's why some of my Bitcoin is in a Trezor. So my security method is great as long as people don't know what it is. Sometimes the best thing to do is just keep your mouth shut, which again, more advice Tone Base doesn't follow. All right, next. Am I going to Acapulco? I don't know. If someone can find out if Tone Base is offered a speaking gig at Acapulco, or Tone Base is officially, blacklisted from Acapulco because he doesn't get along with any of the sponsors, I would love to know, but right now I am going to Asia in the middle of January. I'm going to Asia in the middle of January. I might stay there into March unless I have a reason to come back. If that reason is a speaking gig at Acapulco, because I've spoken at the first 3 Acapulcos, that might be a good enough reason to get me out of Asia and back to the Americas. If I don't know, then I'm not going to make plans for it, right? Like right now, I am going to Asia in January, and I have no plans to come back in February, back to this side of the world. Will I be at the Texas Bitcoin conference again? So I am deciding if I want to go there and speak. I told them I'll get back to them. I probably won't, and here's why. Because the Texas Bitcoin conference is taking place on I only trade 3 weeks per quarter, right? So I only trade earnings season. And during earnings season, the most important week of trading is the same week as the Texas Bitcoin conference. So as much as I want to come to Austin and I want to see Jimmy and stuff, I don't know. I have to see, because that may actually be the 1 week where I do my one trade. I now do 4 trades a year, and that's the week that it's going to happen. And I put my entire retirement account on one trade, and I kind of need to be paying attention to it. So and it's unfortunate that it's just timing. Timing is the problem. So I'll see. I gotta make up my mind, and soon. Next. How do I see Lightning advantage Bitcoin over LTC? I think Lightning is going to be great. It's hard for me to answer that question. Let's just move on. I only have a few more minutes. Are you going to call the top in October? If I see a top in October, I'll call the top in October. I kind of want to come to the Middle East. We'll see. Abu Dhabi, Dubai, I don't know. We'll see. I heard good things about. Let me not name other countries. One of these days I'll make it there. It's just, I don't know. It just hasn't been very high on my priority list. We hit 700 viewers. Awesome. All right, I got 2 more questions. Then we're gonna call it a day. Which one is the fintech company that you would like if it didn't happen also on ERC20? Well, like I said, BCAP token is the only token that everything is pretty much legitimate. I mean, the BCAP token is probably as legitimate ICO as you're going to get. I just think it has a technological issue of being built on top of a scam. And of course, the creators of the BCAP token will disagree with me on that part. Opinion on paper wallets. I don't like them, mostly because I'm scared that, I'll accidentally, set it on fire and then there goes my paper wallet. It's literally paper, right? I don't like paper. Find some old electronic devices that are still functioning. It's a little safer than a piece of paper. I just don't like anything on paper. At least transfer it to an Excel spreadsheet and encrypt the spreadsheet. All right, next. Someone said Berwick mentioned you in a video about it. I think so. He seems open to look. Speakers for Acapulco are being announced. I've messaged some of the organizers. They did not get back to me. I'm tired. Look, me asking for speaking gigs was 2015 and 2016. In 2017, I'm not begging for speaking gigs. In fact, if you're not paying my expenses to go there, I probably won't go anymore. I mean, you should see some of the crap I got to put up with at these events, especially when they're ICO events. It's not worth it. I don't think I'm going to go to another ICO event. It's not worth it for me. At this point, I'm sorry, conferences need to reach out to me, at this point, right? I will reach out to Scaling Bitcoin. If it's a conference I really, really, really want to speak at, I'll reach out and I'll beg for a speaking gig. But those conferences are now few and far between. I think it's like one, Scaling Bitcoin. That's it. That's the only conference I really want. I will beg to speak at. I maybe the Prague one looks good, and the Latin American Bitcoin conference is good. There you go. My three top events, right? Scaling Bitcoin, La BitConf, and Hackers Congress. Those are the only three conferences where I will be asking for speaking gigs, and two of them actually reached out to me. All the other ones, I'm sorry, guys, you gotta call me. You gotta call me, or my followers have to ask them to call me, right? I mean, you can tell how good a conference is by the kind of speakers they have. Okay, I think that's it. Do I trust Trezor and Ledger for good enough security? That is a perfectly phrased question. I'll read it again. Do you trust Trezor and Ledger for good enough security? And the answer is yes. Okay. I think that's a really good way to kind of end it. I'll put up one last screen share for you guys. I tried to do it in the middle of my presentation, and in the middle of just do a very quick screen share. Look, these are my affiliate codes. I'm not sponsored by anyone. These are the affiliate codes. In half of these cases, it will save you money. Like, please watch the Magic Money documentary. It's free with Amazon Prime. I have a discount code in my description. If you want to buy a Cryptomatic, I have a discount code in the description. If you want to buy a Trezor or a Ledger, I have a discount code in the description. And for TradingView and OneBroker, things that I use, this one all day, every day, and I use this sometimes. They're not discount codes, unfortunately. Those are just affiliate codes. Okay, so thank you for your donations, and thank you for those that have been using my affiliate links. All right, guys. On that note, I will say goodbye, and I'll talk to you all next time.